So my person was Frederick Douglass. My thesis was Frederick Douglass was an important figure in our society in the past, present, and will be in the future because he was a leader of the abolitionist group that ended slavery. So some background information. He had different race parents, so his mother was black, and from sources that I've looked at, it says that the father is most likely the mother's owner, so his father was white. He was born in 1818. No one actually knows his real date of birth, though, and he died in 1895 on February 20th. His mom died at the age of 7, so he was left to live with his grandparents and his aunt and became a slave right then. And he lived in Baltimore, and he ended up escaping to Massachusetts at the age of 20 to become a free slave. So, does anyone know what an abolitionist is? Okay, so the definition of an abolitionist is a person who favors the abolition of a practice or institution, especially capital punishment or slavery. So it's someone who's in favor of pretty much putting an end to slavery. And Frederick Douglass was said to be an active abolitionist. He preached his beliefs by traveling all around and giving very inspirational speeches. And one of them is the meaning of July 4th for the Negro. And this was a speech that he made that is now published. And it pretty much points out how the 4th of July is a holiday for white people. They're celebrating their independence and all that good stuff, but black people have no independence whatsoever under the control of everyone else. So that was pretty much sums up what he said in that. So he he made many speeches, but he also wrote many books. I have a couple. The Heroic Slave, The Narrative and Selected Writings, Life and Times of Frederick Douglass. He wrote 3 autobiographies. He started a newspaper called the North Star, and it was pretty much preaching his beliefs in a newspaper for slaves down south. And they called it the North Star because he said that when slaves try to escape, they should look at the North Star and just follow it. But his most famous was My Bondage and My Freedom. It was his second autobiography, and it explained how he pretty much went from slavery to being free, and how he went through all his troubles and he finally got to where he wanted to be. So he's remembered in today's society because he was a very big figure in how slavery ended. His speeches and his books were very inspirational to leaders that came after him and for people in that time. But most importantly, when he was, through his books and speeches, he gave mostly hope for other slaves that were going through the same thing he did, and it pretty much pointed out how, go through the hard times and something good will come out of it, and I guess that's it.